Hi, so I just got back from therapy. I went to therapy for the first time in 4.5 years. I feel so bad saying that because I tell you guys all the time to go seek therapy and I never took that step. Mostly because my aunt, whom I was living with at the time when I was very mentally ill and suicidal, my aunt told me either you get a college education or you go to therapy. Or she would have me pay for my own therapy when I was living with her. And I couldn't pay the $100. I couldn't do that. And financially it wasn't working. So my school now, my college campus that I have now, has free therapy and counseling for the students. And you'd think that was great. And when I first talked to someone about it, they said it was unlimited. That was a lie. I only get 10 free sessions. And then they'll help me figure out what to do. So I would just want to talk about what happened today in therapy, what we talked about, my whole overall experience. And yeah, this morning I was very, very anxious. Good morning. My hair is a mess. Today is my first day of therapy and my cat is like screaming at me. I made the appointment 2 weeks ago and I wasn't really nervous until right now. Like my heart is like in my stomach and I'm like hella nervous, even though I have no reason to be nervous because I haven't had a first appointment in like 10 years maybe. So I don't really remember how first appointments go. I did a lot of research. I know I shouldn't have. I know I'm over preparing and over psyching myself out. This is what we do when we're nervous for therapy. We just freak out and there's no reason to freak out. I'm gonna be doing some Pilates this morning. Just got done with Pilates. I love it. I've been doing it for 2 weeks. I started and my arms hurt. I absolutely love it, love it, love it. If you guys haven't done Pilates, I'll leave it down below. It's so good for when you're home alone and you're stressed and you have anxiety, you can just turn it on and just after the workout you just feel so much better about yourself. If you do it in the morning, you start off the morning doing something good. Do something good for yourself. I'm going to put some makeup on and I'm gonna put some comfy clothes on because when you go to the therapist, you need to wear something comfortable because you're going to be uncomfortable, so at least your body should be comfortable, right? I just filmed a video. Sometimes when you film a video, as you're filming it, you're like, this isn't working. I have to do something else. So, first day of therapy. I'm scared. Some of the things that I have a recovery journal and one of the things I wrote is I'm scared that I'm going to be too mentally ill for the school to handle. I'm scared that my therapist and I aren't going to click and I'm not going to like it. I'm scared that I'm going to reject the therapist again because I've done that in the past because I didn't like my therapists. I'm scared that it's not going to work. But I know that therapy's not a one-time fix and I know that they don't have the answers. I have the answers and they're just there to help me guide to the answers. So yeah, nervous, but it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay, Kristen. It's gonna be okay. I was anxious to get on the bus today to even go to school because I knew I had to talk to a therapist. I was anxious after class. I was anxious during class. But I want to talk about therapy and how it went and everything. When I first got there, I got there a half an hour early because I was anxious. I forgot that when you have your first time going to therapy, you have a lot of paperwork to fill out because they want to know your mental status when you go into therapy so they know exactly what they're working with. So I had to take 3 questionnaires and fill out my emergency contacts, and then I filled it out and I gave it back to the receptionist, and then I sat there and waited and my therapist came and got me. She was a lovely woman. I think I would have been really nervous if it was a man. I've only had one other man counselor or therapist and he wasn't that good. He only thought the only type of self-harm was cutting. When he asked me if I was cutting, my old therapist, he used the gesture and I was like, I'm done. Like, I don't want to deal with you. I didn't go that many times to him. This therapist was sweet and kind and nice and really welcoming, and right off the bat I told her I'm nervous and she's like, I get it, I get why you're nervous and there's no reason to be nervous, and I was like, I know. And now, you know, we're kidding around for a little while. We went into the back room. It was this nice room with 2 chairs and computers. It felt like I was at my doctor's office. She had a bunch of computers and stuff like you would see at a doctor's office, but it was okay because we had the 2 therapy chairs and standard setup of a therapist office. Hold on, tea break. So we went back there, we sat in our chairs, and she asked me why I've come in, and I told her that I felt like I wasn't functioning and that I needed help, and there's a lot that I need to work through. And we started talking about confidentiality, and she told me what she's only going to tell anyone if harm to others or myself. Quickly, I said, what does a harm to myself mean? Because you know I'm a self-harmer and I needed to make that clear. Like I tell you guys, if you have a concern with a therapist or you feel scared that your therapist is going to tell parents or anyone else about your self-harm, always ask what types of things do they classify as being a harm to yourself to tell others. So I said, what does a harm to myself mean? And she's like, if you're suicidal. And I said, okay, that makes sense. If I'm suicidal and I'm going to kill myself, I hope you would tell somebody. Then I told her I do self-harm and that is something I do struggle with. I told her straight off the bat, I self-harm. I'm in recovery for self-harm. We talked about school and I'm a psychology major. We talked about where I transferred from. Then we started getting the nit and gritty of it. Why have I come to counseling? And I told her about the abusive relationships I've been in, about how much I've been thinking about the abusive relationships I've been in, about how a lot of repressed memories have been coming back to me and I don't know how to cope. Honestly, I'm gonna tell you guys, I do not know how to cope with it. There's really nothing on the internet on how to cope with these kind of things, and I want to do research and I want to help you, but I also want to help myself, and I have no idea how to cope with what I'm feeling right now. And I told her that. I said, I have no idea how to cope with what I'm feeling right now and I need help. And then she says, okay, explain what happened. And when I sat there, I could talk to the camera in my room by myself what happened, kind of. I noticed when I sat there staring at her and she asked me what happened, I couldn't even admit to myself what happened. I couldn't even admit out loud what happened because of how he made me feel. And this is like 5-6 years later, how he made me feel. He made me feel worthless. He made me feel trapped. He made me feel like I could not tell anyone, and he made me forget. And I'm here to say, I remember what you did to me. I remember the abuse you put me through, and I remember everything. And to repress that, I don't even know how I did it. I honestly have no idea how I repressed it. We talked about my repressed memory, and then we also talked about how repressed memories come up sometimes when we're feeling the same way, when we're feeling down or we're feeling bad about ourselves. It can bring up some other emotions because your body remembers the emotions of the past. And I guess that makes sense to me because I was being bullied a few weeks ago and I felt really out of control, and that's why I was journaling and that's why it came out. I couldn't admit it out loud what he did to me. I'm not ready to do that, I don't think. I hope in the future I'm able to admit to you and to my therapist and to my loved ones what happened, because I want to talk about it. But I've only told one other person, and it was kind of jokingly what happened, and we kind of kid around about it, how I slept with him. How could I do that? Because I did a lot of shit in my life that I just totally regret and no one knows about, and I want them to know about because I want them to know. I don't know. I texted my boyfriend right after my therapy and I said, I'm not feeling good, I'm gonna come home, I'm gonna film, and then I'm gonna get my PJs and I'm gonna edit and I'm gonna do things that I like to do. Because when you do talk about abuse, or when you do talk about sexual assault, or when you do talk about these things, these horrific acts, it feels like you're reliving them, and I'm remembering more and more, and I don't want to. And I keep flashing back. Even right now I'm like thinking about it and I don't want to anymore. And I told my therapist, I can say that now, I told my therapist that I want to know how to cope where I do not ever think about that ever again. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to have nightmares anymore. I don't want to have to stay up because I haven't been sleeping that well, and I admitted that to her, and it was good saying that out loud. And I talked about some other things with my family and things that happened to me that I'm not ready to admit to you guys at all yet. I made a video, a few of them, that I just can't put up because it's just way too personal and way too close to my heart. I know that there's a lot of people who can relate to me out there, and I do want to make that video. I swear I want to make that video for you guys, and I want to let you know that you're not alone, but it's not time yet for those videos, and I need to admit that to myself. I can't force this. I can't force admitting it to myself. I can't. And I really feel like I'm talking to you guys. Like sometimes I feel like I'm in my room just talking to my camera, but I really feel like I have someone listening right now. And I want to say thank you so much for listening to me, because you guys make me feel so good. You guys make me feel like I'm not alone, and you guys make me feel like I can just talk. If I didn't have you, I would not be talking. I don't know where I would be right now. I just want to talk it out. I just want people to know my story. And I want to say thank you so much, because if it wasn't for you, I would just be sitting here talking to my cat. And we all know how sad that can be. I think I'm going to ask my boyfriend for a burrito for dinner, because I kind of just really want a burrito. I also want to say, I'm here with you. I'm here recovering just like you. And I know how hard it is, but please reach out for help and stand with me and fight against our mental health issues and fight against all of the stuff that's in your head. I feel you. I know how you feel, and I know how hard therapy can be, but let's do it together. If you're in therapy or if you are considering therapy, please let me know. Please let me know any coping skills or things you do to unwind after therapy. I really like that because I really don't know how to unwind after therapy. That's a big thing that I need to learn because I'm going to start doing this. Anyway, I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys next time with another mental health video.